You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 24th meeting for the Long Beach Public Works Committee. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Public Works Committee meeting for March 24th, 2025. Committee members that are present are Street Superintendent Tom Dolph, Water Superintendent Greg Parrish, John Wall, myself, Mark Swistek, and we have our Secretary Diane Heitman in attendance, as well as Assistant Superintendent of the Water Department, Austin Ashcraft. I'll ask for approval of the January 27th, 2025 minutes.
Look good.
I got a motion by John Wall, seconded by Tom Dolph. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, aye. All right, very good. Street Department, old business. I'll turn it over to Street Superintendent Tom Dolph for some updates.
The pavement marking grant that we got, that's funding for that has been moved off to 2026. So there's nothing really going to go on with that until later, probably in the late part of this year or whatever that we'll probably have to do. But otherwise, funding is 2026. So we'll keep an update on that as time progresses. The F-550 replacement, we're still on track for July. Lakeshore Drive, future paving and right-of-way investigation. It's still a work in progress. We need to kind of take a walk around, look around it. Lakeshore Drive and the different things, right away, everything else. So I mean, we got a whole lot to figure out on that project. So that's going to be an ongoing thing for a while. Community crossing paving and tree trimming update. Community crossing paving and drainage project for this spring is timeline that's work is supposed to start sometime in April. We don't have a definite date as for when this is all going to happen, but we got I think a project timeline and update is supposed to be put on the town website. I don't know if did they put that on there already?
We sent out an email blast and put it in a newsletter about we're going to be starting the project. But I figured closer to the first week of April, when I know a lot of the stormwater work is going to begin, then we'll put something out so that we can kind of let everybody know.
Okay, and currently we have Maple City going around on each one of those streets, cutting the low-hanging or overhanging limbs, doing some tree work on all of those to make sure that we kind of open up the canopy a little bit and make a complete, nice finished job. Spring leaf pickup. That is scheduled for April 21st to the 25th. We kind of backed it up by a week. We need to get everybody get their leaves out by the 20th of April. So then that way we can get the leaf guys to go around one time pass, hurry up and pick up all leaves before the, the pavement project gets into full swing. Hopefully we can get the majority of everything done before them guys come out here. So that's a one-time pass. So we're not coming back. We're going to run through real quick, pick them up and be done. And then we got the suggestion to change Public Works Committee meeting frequency to quarterly.
Does anybody have any objections on that? I don't see any sense meeting monthly. If by chance there's a major item that we need to discuss, we could always call for a meeting, but otherwise I think meeting quarterly covers pretty much the business that we need to handle on an annual basis. Any objections? All right, I'll verify it with Kendra since she is the chair and is excused this month. She's on vacation, so I'll get an email out to her explaining that we're in favor of that.
So they would knock us out to
June would be the next one, which would be a good time to update on the CCMG progress and where we're at with that project, and then talk about some of the water items and stuff like that as well. Anything else, Tom?
Nope, that's all I got.
Getting back to the Lakeshore Drive, the future paving and the right-of-way investigation. John, I know you and I spoke. I think what we'll do is get an email out to Sam when the weather breaks. Just pick some date that's good for all of us and just go out there and physically walk it. Between Greg, Tom, you and I, and then some Haas members, just to talk about some of the right-of-way concerns. And then, what do we want to do as far as widening it and stuff like that. So. But yeah, maybe sometime in mid to late April, we can do that.
We could probably even, like as we're walking, like that guy that's got all those timbers over the top of your water, and I suppose, like, let's say we identify places or something, we could send some letters out or some of those guys or.
Sure.
Yeah, I
Same.
might even have, some intel on that, whenever we were doing the water project and all that with the sewer. I think, didn't we make a list of right of way issues? So I can maybe dig those out.
That'll help. Yeah.
We probably should grab, maybe we can get Sam to give us a sheet, like a couple of sheets with the whole, so we can make the notes right on one sheet.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions for Tom? All right. Hearing none, we'll move to Water Department report from Greg.
So my report's gonna cover the old business and stuff too, so we'll just wrap it up in one. Update on booster station generator set and connected. We are just waiting for a manufacturer's scheduled startup date. Hoping that will be soon, and we were down this morning at Kearns there, and I think it's gonna be today.
Good.
So that should be might be online today, maybe. Also, NWI fencing is scheduled to come in and incorporate the generator in with the new fencing. I don't have any definite scheduling date on installation of that yet. Also, we will be installing gravel for a on-site parking for the project as well. We might try to get in there before they put the fence in. If not, we can do it after. It's going to be outside the fence anyway. So, and Diane will be working on our CCI report for this year. We are just waiting for the results to come from Michigan City's reports so that we can include those into our report. We should be getting those pretty soon. Austin is currently working on our 2024 water audit. We are scheduled for April 1st for validation with Indiana Rural Water Alliance validator Chad Reynolds. After we get that validated, then we send it downstate to IFA. So that'll be done for this year. And we have to report that one this year too, because it's all the even years. So it's for 2024. So Carl Sanders working on preparing a new water rate increase. I've been in contact with Chris Johnson, who's the water superintendent for Michigan City. They also are in the process of a rate increase probably by the end of the year.
Didn't they just have one a few years ago?
2015. I thought it was sooner than that, but it's 2015 is when they had their last increase. So it's been a while.
So we should probably wait on ours to see what they're going to do.
Not necessarily.
No.
We need to get our rate up regardless. And then maybe if I don't know how they're going to structure it. I haven't been in touch with Carl Sander or Tristan. Me and Meg talked about it a little bit. I don't know if they're maybe thinking about doing like a 3-year, a little this year, a little next year, then we can incorporate what Michigan City's is the next year or something.
Right.
But we're behind 8 ball with the water right now, so we need to get caught up.
And then our cost relative to what they charge us obviously is going to go up too. So.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then, let's see what we have here.
When we do that, we're gonna incorporate some of the overhead too, right? Like we did with the garbage, right?
Yeah, we need to do like
For capital projects.
capital projects, and then like just our cost of the electric and things like the production cost needs to be put into that as well.
Right.
Because I think right now we're generating most of our revenue just from base fees, and we shouldn't be doing that. We should be bringing in a lot more money on the water sales to cover a lot of that. So we'll see what they come up with. So we've been doing locates for the CCMG project for drainage structures. We are also looking at infrastructure upgrades that may need to be upgraded or removed before final paving. Hydrant flushing is typically done the first part of May, but with us having 70 hydrants scheduled for painting, I would like to get those hydrants flushed and service before contractor starts painting. We have no start date with the painting contractor. They said late April or early May. We would like to start them sometime in April and hopefully be ahead of the paving crew. We can finish the rest of the hydrants, once there's a drainage schedule. We've also been getting some calls for turning on the irrigation systems already. Just a reminder that all backflow devices need an annual inspection before operating irrigation systems. Touch on continuing education classes. Also, myself have completed 3 classes so far this year. 1 class was in Michigan City for outfall to intake and surface water treatment. 2nd class was in Hebron. That class was on water rules and regulations and sampling. And our 3rd class was in Rensselaer, and that was on water audit validator review. We have 1 more class yet scheduled for this year, which is in Akron, Indiana, and that's simply a expo, which has vendors modeling all new field equipment and tools. All classes are accredited for our CE requirements for IDEM. And that's all I have.
Very good. Any questions for Greg? Hearing none. No public are present nor on Zoom. Any final comments or thoughts from the group?
I forgot what we're doing with the salt storage. You guys are probably doing that on different tank, but do we?
It's kind of tight right now because the leftover salt that we do have that's in the, to be able to prep the area that we may put it, I would have to move that salt that's there. So, and then if we don't put it there, then we got the gas, the fuel pumps, the sheds, everything else that has to move. We got Reeve Riley coming in with, 60 or 70 structures, something like that. We're gonna try and give them as much room as we can. I got leaf guys taking out the leaves that were picked up in the fall. We got a whole bunch of, it's happening, but it's just a mess back there. It will be, especially once drainage
Might be fall or something.
if we can get everything figured out in between and make everything else happen and all that kind of stuff, then we can probably possibly make that. But they have to be able to see the site prepared and ready. So then that way, and then that way I know that I gave them enough room, everything else, so.
The area we're looking at now is directly across from the fuel pumps, kind of where the salt is temporarily being stored at currently. I think our goal is to reach out to at least 2 contractors, one of which that we worked with last year, to come up with the scope of work. I think some of the larger companies that had bid that project, their numbers were exceeding what our budget was kind of for that project. They would build us a Taj Mahal structure for $350,000. We just don't feel we need that for what, we actually have the use for over there. So, but yeah, so we hope to have that working on a scope of work by summer, and then maybe fall starting construction is the goal. So, but yeah. Any other questions from the group? All right, hearing none, it is 8:16 a.m. With no further business, we will conclude today's meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, next meeting, are we gonna stay on that last Monday kind of thing?
Yeah, it'll stay on the last Monday. We'll shoot for the last Monday of June at 8 a.m.
23rd.
Yep, and I'll confirm that with Kendra, and then we'll update the
I'm
website.
sorry, the 30th it'd be the last one.
Okay.
You want to go that for either one.
Yeah, and then we'll update everybody in the website as well.